and gentlemen, welcome. I hope you're having a splendid day. My name is Maz and I hope you enjoy that intro. And for you who were running headphones, I did warn you. I hope everything is okay. So I was contemplating on how to do this video with regards to the Borla ATAK system. I was first thinking of just doing a sort of point of view driving expressions or impressions or sounds without any talking at all, just some revving, drive-bys, etc. But I thought I'll give it some substance to it. I will post a bunch of videos after me talking this mumbo jumbo or whatever you want to call it. So I just want to start off with talking a little bit about what the system is and the different options you have. I have a installed video which you can have a look at. I'll link that up above and I'll put a link down below. So the Borla ATAK system, I have it on my 2018 Mustang GT with the active exhaust. So you can flip a switch, I almost said, to actually then go from quiet to normal to sport to track. And the ATAK system that I have on my car does support it because it has valves then which can be open in different positions. So I'll briefly talk about the installation and then we'll get on to the impressions I have had with the system since I installed it. Since I think it's in August or so when I actually did put it on my car then. The installation is rather straightforward. You can do it in your garage. Have a look at my video. There are a ton of other videos how you actually then swap out for a catback system. It's nothing difficult as such. There are some clamps in the front which you need to remove. There are some hangers by the diff you need to remove, and also then the mufflers need to come off by some hangers in the rear. And also if you then have the active exhaust, you need to remove the actuator which then has to be not replaced, actually moved to the Borla ATAK system. That is again then if you have the active exhaust. Give it an hour and a half and you'll be done. If you have jack stands, you'll be fine. I am using wheel cribs just to be safe. But anyhow, as long as you take care of the safety, it shouldn't be an issue of doing the install. If you look at my install video, you might see that I had some complaints with regards to the build quality, etc. You can have a look at my video, install video for that. I will not dwell on that. Borla did reach out to me after a couple of mails, etc. and they wanted to reimburse me with $150 cash check, but unfortunately I can't receive that here in Sweden more or less because checks do not work here. So shout out to Borla for actually then reaching out to me, but again then the system is rather expensive and I didn't expect the build quality to be what it is. With that said then, the sound department kills all those negative thoughts because it is a lovely sounding system. So with that said then, let's go into the impressions or the review and the feelings and emotions this system gives me. So at first when I installed it, so I just wanted to talk about also the system comes with a resonator delete then, as it is a catback with an X-pipe setup. Unfortunately there is no H-pipe setup available as far as I know. When I first did install the system, of course I was wowed, but it was not like that crazy wow. First, the European models have the gas particulate filter, so the GPF filter. So on each header, so to speak, there is a GPF filter which is muzzling the sound on the export models, at least in Europe. So that was one thing. And also one thing I did realize, similar to speakers, the exhaust system needs to be broken in, and the character of the sound did actually change quite a lot after, let's say, a month and a half or so. I mean, it depends on then how many miles you put on the system within that 1.5 months or so. So maybe it will be quicker for you, or it might take a bit longer. time. So if you do install it and do get a bit, not disappointed, but if you were expecting to get that higher volume or a different type of sound, because the sound character actually did change, and I was experiencing over time, I did started to experience some crackles and burbles and bangs, actually, depending on how you drive it. You need to drive it quite hard to actually get those bangs, but it's nothing spectacular as such, but it is definitely more noticeable compared to the original OEM system. With regards to, we will get to the how I think of the sound itself later on in the video. I want to talk about something which I think is very important for quite a lot of you out there looking to get a similar type of system, or maybe the Borla ATAK system, and that is droning. There is no drone at all. In quiet mode, the car is as quiet as stock if you're just cruising along. If you do get step on it, the valves will open to increase the airflow. However, that will be higher than the stock sound, but it's nothing like crazy. You can't drive it in quiet mode because it drones like hell during your highway driving and so on. In quiet mode, it is still quiet. In track mode, I mostly use I just run track or quiet. In track mode, say around 60 or so miles per hour. If you're just cruising, you will not hear the system as such. If you increase your speed, you will of course hear the exhaust note, but it's no drone. That is very important for you to know. For those of you who are wanting to buy the system, there is no drone at all, at least from what I have experienced. I can't exactly say how it will sound without the GPF filters, or if you're running long tube headers, then it will be crazy loud most likely, but there is no drone. The next topic I want to talk about is the visual appearance of the Borla ATAK system. So I did opt for the black chrome tips, and it looks really good. I didn't want to go with the regular chrome, because they would stand out too much. But with the black, it's just perfect because it blends in perfectly with all the black stuff in the rear anyways. And also, they look much nicer than the OEM exhaust tips. I think they look horrible on the original one. Yeah. And Borla do offer carbon tips, which I think would also look really nice, but they are quite expensive here. And while we're on the subject of expensive, so this system is rather expensive. I think it runs you around $2,000 in the US and somewhere around 2,500 euros here in Europe. And that is what I paid more or less, plus shipping, etc. And that is with the black tips. Then I think if you order it with the chrome, it's a little bit cheaper. And also if you don't opt for the active exhaust, it's even a bit more cheaper than that then. So I think from a visual experience, it also enhances the look of the car. But now let's get to the sound side of things. I will talk a little bit about this, and then I will just post some videos and let you enjoy the sounds. But man, it does sound really good. I don't know how many heads I have been turning since I did install this system, and especially after it was broken in. It sounds lovely. It sounds beautiful. It's not raspy at all, in my opinion at least. Even though it has an X-pipe, it just sounds really, really good. And also, as I mentioned, it has added some pops, bangs, burbles, etc., which was not there on the original system. Then the sound of the system is somewhere in between an X-pipe and an H-pipe, at least in my opinion. Mind you, I have been running X-pipe and H-pipe resonator delete previously on the car, and I do prefer the H sound, and to my ears it is slightly more to the H-pipe sound characteristic. It sounds lovely. It still has that V8 sound. It has given that burbles and crackles, and also the higher volume, so to speak. It sounds really, really lovely. It is difficult not to step on it, let's say in tunnels or in between buildings, etc., or in garages. No, let's not go there. It sounds really great. All right, then, with that said, let's jump into the fun stuff. I'll do a montage of some driving clips, some drive-by, some tunnel driving, etc. I hope you'll enjoy how it sounds. And again, then, if you're running headphones, you might want to turn the volume down. It's not crazy loud, but still, I don't want you to bust your ears or something, because you want to enjoy that sweet sound. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed those sound clips. If you have any questions at all, just let me know in the comment sections below and I will try to answer them the best I can. I do love this system.